Stand for the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everyone. This is Tuesday, September 5th. If you have any questions or concerns or comments, come to this podium over here, give us your name and your address, tell us what's on your mind. Call the roll, please.
Peter.
Here.
Gatler.
Here.
Stufa.
Here.
Laporte.
Here.
Hall.
Here.
Volk.
Here.
Platt.
Here.
All present.
All right, thank you. Number 4, consent agenda A, City Council minutes of August 21st, 2023, special and regular meetings, recommendation approved. B's, the Housing Commission minutes of June 20th, 2023, recommendation receive.
Motion to approve A and B as presented.
Support.
Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Number 5 is we're going to have a public hearing for the 2023-24 fiscal year budget. Mr. Bishop.
Sorry, I need to bring up my notes. Earlier this evening, and for the last 3 consecutive council meetings, we've talked about the budget, and we've conducted 3 budget workshops. I believe that we've arrived at a number that represents not only the city's abilities, but also planning for the future and the growth of the city. We do have here on the screen, if anybody can see it, I'm happy to enlarge it. This is sorry, Therese, I know you can work on that prescription, I know. You can see it from back there. This is what's considered a balanced budget. We actually have more revenue than expenditures. It's a very tight budget, but I think it's very doable. I think ultimately what we need to do is consider all of our funds, those in the general, those in the enterprise, and those are long-term planning, especially roads. We need to take into consideration what it's going to mean for us as a city. At a future meeting after the budget in some capacity is passed, I would like to revisit the road millage in some capacity, because as our 5-year plan has it laid out right now, it's essential that we have funding moving forward. But this is just a notice of the public hearing, and I think we actually have to open up the public hearing and then allow public speak if so.
Anybody in the public have any questions, comments? All right, if not, I am going to close the public hearing. Move on to number 6, orders and resolution 2330, 2324 fiscal year budget, millage levy and appropriations act. Mr. Bishop.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to get my thoughts together because I don't have my paper. The Millage Levy and Appropriations Act. This is as I mentioned before, what is considered a balanced budget for the City of St. Clair. We have in total a revenue projection of $13,738,697, with only an expenditure of $13,679,447. We have projected more revenues than expenditures. I would like to make note that if anybody were to look at the local roads, they would see that expenditure exceeds revenue. However, we have the ability to draw from the major road funding then to balance that local road budget. So as a whole, we have a budget that revenues exceed expenditures. Throughout the 3 budget workshops, we've introduced the office fee schedules, the capital improvement plan, and now I'm asking for this budget adoption of that amount.
Hearing no questions, Your Honor, I make a motion to approve.
All right, motion made, support, questions? Call the roll, please.
Gatler.
Yes.
Stufa.
Yes.
Laporte.
Yes.
Hall.
Yes.
Volk.
Yes.
Platt.
Yes.
Cedar.
Yes.
Resolution adopted.
Thank you, and thank you, Mr. Bishop. I know that you put a lot of time in on that. Good job.
Thanks.
Need Resolution 2331, nonprofit recognition of Tires and Treads Organization.
Yes, Your Honor, I'll discuss this. In front of you is a resolution to recognize Tires and Treads as a nonprofit organization. They are partnering with Magna for a special event at the end of September. And in order for them to apply for a charitable gaming license with the state of Michigan, the local unit of government in the vicinity that they are having their event in needs to recognize them as a nonprofit organization. So in front of you is that general template for the resolution to do so.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Support.
All right, made and supported. Questions? All right, call the roll, please.
Kufa,
Yes.
Laporte,
Yes.
Paul,
Yes.
Volt,
Yes.
Platt,
Yes.
Gottler,
Yes.
Cedar.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Thank you.
Okay, we'll go to C, Resolution 2332, St. Clair County Grant Application, Recreate Cletcher Park Project. Catrice.
Thank you. The City of St. Clair is eligible to apply for a grant through the St. Clair County Parks and Recreation Commission. It's part of the park millage funds. A portion of the millage funds are distributed to local communities, and then the remaining amount, there are grant opportunities that we can apply for. We have used this grant in the past for our skate park. That was one of the priorities that is included in this grant, and we also, I believe we used it for our canoe launch. I wasn't directly involved with that. So this proposal and application is for Cletcher Park, and we actually have 3 items that are a priority grant as part of this request: splash pad, multi-use court, and trail and pathway development. So we're planning to do all 3 of those things at Cletcher Park, so I've included them in the grant. I did note that the commission may decide to maybe, for example, they may say this year we're going to approve the splash pad, and we may have to go back to them for the other items. So it might, or they may say they'll do a combined grant or a multi-year commitment. And just to give you a little, I believe Cletcher Park was part of the budget discussion earlier. The month of September is a big month for Cletcher Park. We did apply for the DNR second round Spark grant. So right now the schedule was that they would make those announcements in September. We have a pending Community Foundation grant. We have the St. Clair Parks and Recreation Commission grant. And then we, as a rec commission, we hope to announce a major sponsorship for our splash pad in the month of September, if not October. So there are a lot of things pending for Cletcher Park, but we hope to have answers for that real soon. And then we've done some successful fundraising over the summer too. So this grant does require a resolution, and it's not a matching fund grant. Again, it's the county millage money that's set aside for special projects.
And this is a reimbursement grant. They're not
It
gonna
is a reimbursement grant, yes.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Support.
Questions? Call the roll, please.
Laporte,
Yes.
Paul,
Yes.
Volt,
Yes.
Platt,
Yes.
Gottler,
Yes.
Kufa,
Yes.
Cedar.
Yes.
Resolution adopted.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Therese. Good luck. Number 7, Ports Administration. Mr. Bishop, what do you got?
I have just 4 things. I'd like to start out just by recognizing J&J Lawn Care Service. So throughout the summer, we had asked them to go above and beyond what they were normally obligated to do. And every time I'm in the city, whether or not I see Lisa working on the flower beds herself or her crew at the cemetery or whatnot, she's just done a remarkable job. And the city looks beautiful, and I think she's kept it beautiful. I would just like to recognize J&J for the good work that they have done for the city of St. Clair. At a future meeting, I'd like to discuss the ditch along Kearney Drive. That is one of the ditches. Not only is it steep, but there is quite an embankment. And as we look in the future and the cost to fill in that ditch, as opposed to leaving it open and for years to maintain that ditch, either through weed whacking or you're never getting a tractor down there. That's not going to happen. So you probably need to have 2 guys One has a spotter for vehicles while the other one's in the ditch. I think we need to take into consideration of making that a safe part of the road and considering the cost of potentially filling that in. We have received 3 quotes, and we're entertaining the idea of moving this forward, but I think in the future, especially for this new fiscal year in the budget, something that we absolutely should discuss.
So are you looking at both sides of the roads, and from what road to what on Kearney?
No.
From Clinton to?
No, essentially that what's running in front of Woodland Estates right now, and it's about an 8-foot, 10-foot ditch, and right now we have 3 quotes coming in. One is exceptionally priced. We'd like to move forward with it, but I just think it deserves probably an agenda item where we can talk through it, and then I get the particulars, but I just want to give everybody the heads up that it'll be coming down the pipeline. Okay, I think this is the same issue that was addressed maybe previously, but I think that what we can do is I think that there's material that we would actually need to pay for, but I think that there's probably something we can work out where we're not actually using the equipment, we're not having to pay for the actual filter, but just actually tubing itself. I think that there's a way forward with this. I just think that the time it's going to take to maintain that ditch over the years is going to eclipse what it's going to cost us to actually just fill it in.
I think there are 2 questions, just so I could maybe get worked on before it comes back. One
Okay.
is, if we're going to do that, is there any way to get from Vine to Clinton, instead of just doing a portion, at least knocking out a full section?
Oh, I see what you're saying, from end to end, right?
Agree, yep.
So then that's at least completed on one side of the road. 2, another question that came up was water management. If we're going to be filling all that in, where's all the water going? Is there sewers on the roadside? If not, there's no curbs. How does that affect? Is there going to be sewers or drains placed?
Drains placed, and then there'll be tubing, basically kind of a tubing within the ditch, and then
Right.
that'll feed right to the creeks.
Yeah, so those are the 2 questions.
Do you think we'd be able to get maybe somebody from
EW?
over here in here from the developer and the builder and
Oh, I'm sure we can schedule an opportunity
Talk
for
and
somebody to speak and
maybe figure out
speak
what
to
we
it.
can do together? You think they'd be interested in that? Oh, okay.
Oh, well, good. That makes it easy.
You say.
Thank you. Okay, so I'll figure out those numbers. I'll make sure that what we have the quotes for represent Vine to Clinton.
So
and
does
what
the
they're gonna
city,
pay.
does the city maintain every ditch in the city?
Ditches that are, well, yeah, if it's in
Is
our
it-
right of
Are they
way.
charged with, or do they do, is that, which part?
I mean, I'm just wondering, because there's a lot of ditches in the city, but we're saying that we're going to maintain this one ditch?
This one's immobile. There's no, residents typically will mow the ditch even if it's in the public right of way or the city property, and they'll run it, up close to the shoulder because they want that clean cut grass. With a ditch that depth and at that angle, residents are not going to jump in that ditch, and they have not jumped in that ditch to clean it out.
Okay. Why was it made that deep and that, I mean, isn't that part of the planning process for this development? The depth of that ditch, the
Yeah,
width?
if I'm not mistaken, I think Planning Commission had that at the table at one point.
Was that on the plan?
I
To fill
don't
that in?
remember. It had to be on the design,
Okay.
but I don't remember it.
I'll get with Paul Wade.
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
Paul, no.
Yep, I
Yes.
know. Thank you.
Okay. No, that's good. It's a good topic. I think it's one of those problem areas. Okay. Just want to also make an announcement that the water treatment plant has hired a new staff member. His name is Jay Silvers. He'll be joining us beginning on September 11th. He comes with an F3 license, and he'll be qualified to write for the F2, which is what we need to be in compliance with the state. He'll be able to write for that test, and getting to know the guy, I think he'll pass it his first time around, and that'll occur in May. And I also want to welcome Lynette Obrey to the team. She's been with us from Robert Half as a hired city accountant. We rewrote a job description, interviewed for a finance director, and we have the ability to bring her on. And so it makes good sense. She's a great fit for the team. The culture's great. And once we finalize the paperwork, we'll be welcoming her to the team as well. I think that's all I have.
Any questions for Quentin?
What was the new supervisor's name?
Water treatment, he's an operator right now. His name is Jay Silvers.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Belts? Mr. Attorney, you got anything?
Nothing this evening, Your Honor.
Any city departments out there? Authorities, boards, commissions, committee chairs, council reps, anybody?
I have one small thing, Mr. Mayor. The homecoming parade, it's typically started, it's on Sunday, September 17th. It's typically started at Emmanuel Lutheran Church. Just want to give everybody a heads up. Chief Raker called me today just to tell me, we are starting at St. Mary's Church this year. We're using their lineup, their parking lot for the lineup. Emmanuel has an event at their venue. So, excuse me, we're starting at 6th and Vine for the homecoming parade on the 17th.
What time?
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock, thank you.
You remind me, I'll put it on the marquee out front.
Okay.
Mark,
Anybody else? We have no unfinished business, new business. A, approve adaptive reuse permitted uses for 301 North 9th Street.
If we're planning. Happy to take it.
yeah. This is the Airbnb.
Let me pull this up.
So your packet contains the draft minutes from the last planning commission meeting as reference. So if you are considering approval, the recommendation can be read verbatim from the minutes.
Thank you for that.
This is it.
Yes,
Yeah.
the highlighted.
Page 4 of the.
Yep,
Let me read this out loud.
please.
Paul Wade made a motion to send to council the recommendation to add and modify the adaptive reuse for the Eddy development to include the following as permitted uses: office buildings for such as occupations as executive, administrative, clerical, accounting, engineering, architecture, drafting, medical offices, and sales functions; data processing and computer centers, including sales, service, and maintenance of electric data processing equipment; personal services such as repair shops for watches, small appliances, shoes, televisions, beauty and barber shops; laundry and dry cleaning pickup stations; professional office of doctors, dentists, lawyers, architects, engineers, and other similar professions; financial and business service offices; business or trade schools, dancing or music studios. Supported by Mike Laporte. All in favor, none opposed.
All right, that's the recommendation from the planning commission. It's before us tonight. What are your wishes, gentlemen?
I'll make the motion to approve.
I'll support.
All right, the motion made, supported. Questions? Call a roll, please.
Hall,
Yes.
Foltz,
Yes.
Watt,
Yes.
Gottler,
Yes.
Lupa,
Yes.
Laporte,
Yes.
Cedar.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Okay, number 10, claims and accounts, August 24th, August 31st, 2023.
Hearing no questions, Your Honor, I make a motion to approve as presented.
Support.
Questions? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Go to number 11, public comment and questions. Anybody have any non-agenda items? We'll give you 3 minutes if you want to come up to the microphone, tell us who you are and where you're from, what's on your mind.
My name is Robert Weber. I live at 513 Benedict. Lived in this city for like 50 and a half years. And I think they've done a phenomenal job after all these festivals and cleaning up and things like that. So I'm here for the complaint about the bands that play on the weekend. No one seems to know when their cutoff is. Okay, don't tell me to go to the St. Clair Chamber of Commerce. They're a joke, okay? They tell me you people set the time that they're supposed to close down. Is that 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 12:30? This Saturday, these guys closed down at 1:45 in the morning. I have a friend of mine who lives in the River Ridge subdivision. He could hear them up there. Another friend of mine lives on Ketchum Street, which is off of Range Road. He can hear the bands, okay? I talked to the girl down there today. Oh, I live 2 blocks away. I didn't hear them. Well, that's absurd. I mean, so I'm telling you that what they're, my name is not Robert Weber, it's Paul Revere. I'm telling you what they're telling me. You people make the decision on when they're supposed to close down. When are they supposed to close down? And why don't we have an enforcement officer that tells the bands, hey, 10, 10:30, 12, 12:30, or whatever? Who's responsible for that?
Don't we extend the hours for that?
When they apply for the special permits, do we give them the hours? Do we know them off the top of our head right now?
Yes, it's approved until midnight.
Midnight.
Pardon me?
Midnight.
Midnight?
Midnight.
Well, okay, I would think that the police department, the afternoon shift supervisor, would tell the bands, hey, there's a new guy coming in after midnight, and you guys got to close down at 12. Now, if these clowns keep playing till 4 o'clock in the morning, who's going to enforce it? Are they going to give them a ticket for it? Are they going to fine them? This is absurd. Those bands, I mean, they sound like they're in my backyard. And I can tell you, the next city council meeting, we should have it at McMorran, because I can take everyone north of Brown Street, and it ain't going to fit in this room. So 12, are you saying 12 midnight they're supposed to stop?
That's what I'm being told is on the permit, yes.
Okay, so,
And we will relay that to the promoter, if we want to call him that, and make sure that that happens, yes. Thank you. Yeah, we will. We'll take care of it, brother.
okay.
All right. Thanks for coming in. No? Anybody else? No other public comment. We'll go to number 12. Mayor and council comments and announcements. I only have one thing tonight, guys. Trash comes Friday. Anybody else?
Starting road projects in town,
Pardon me?
the road projects that are starting in town,
4th Street, 5th Street.
this week?
Picking up tomorrow. You're welcome.
So we live on those roads, we can't be in our driveway or we won't get out.
Yeah, notices have been sent out
I
to
did get
residents
that.
for 4th and 5th.
Now I remember it.
Yep.
All right.
When is M29 supposed to be completed?
M29 should be completed here. I would give it at least 2.5 weeks, maybe 3.
They're putting in another layer over top of it, are they black topping it, or they're just
No.
patching?
Patching, concrete patching.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I know I'm out of order, but I do have some.
Oh, yeah, you are out of order.
Is that okay?
Yeah, make it quick.
My name's Zach Kleba. I live over on Cox Road. I wasn't really going to say anything. I was just going to sit here and then talk after to some people. Cox Road, you guys talked about it last time, about the path or the sidewalk, and whether or not you put it on the east or west side. I mean, obviously it depends on who's going to play the game with us, with the city. I don't think that we necessarily need to. There was some concerns about the money, about how much it's going to cost, and I think the way that we don't really need it is some concrete sidewalk. Concrete is extremely expensive compared to asphalt. That path that goes right through the city is an amazing path. It's old and it's still holding up pretty fine, and it's asphalt. I work in road construction, so it's the fact that if it was asphalt, nothing heavy is going to go on it. Foot traffic is not going to bother it, even if it's only 2 inches, which is a normal base course. Normal foot traffic is not going to hit that and make it warp or anything. It's the random trucks that have to go through it in the winter, right? Because a pickup truck with a plow on it's pretty heavy, but that's every once in a while during the winter. That's one thing. One way to cut costs is we'll look at the materials. I mean, that will cut your costs down by a bunch. You won't have to deal with labor or nothing. They just sit down and go. Another thing is that the Kearney, the new construction that just happened. I have a question. Does anyone from the city, and not our engineers, because we outsource our engineers, does anybody from the city look at those plans before they give the go-ahead?
Planning commission.
Do they?
Mm-hmm. They
Okay.
were reviewed.
I have two small questions then. We'll get follow-up questions. At Kearney,
Got a lot of questions for a guy out of order.
sorry about that.
Go ahead.
At Kearney and Clinton, there is a crosswalk that is a very, I didn't bring a picture, but it's a very absurd crosswalk. If you want to go take a look at it, it's the northeast quadrant of the intersection. I get that moving utilities is a pain in the butt when you're going to do construction, and it's very expensive. I deal with that a lot. So getting DT out here to move a pole is extremely hard to do. However, I just if you guys would go take a look at it, I mean, it's I don't know how it got allowed to be put in. Another one is on the corner of Kearney and Vine. I saw that they did underground for that Kearney, that part, or the Kearney project, and that corner right there, and I believe, I don't know if that's part of the ditch fill-in or not, that's already caving in, and I don't think it's new, I think it's all the old stuff. So, looking at it, and if there was a city representative out there to pay another $1,000 for them to repair that pipe while they were sitting right there, would have been an extremely cheap thing to do. There's two just sinkholes, right, because the pipe is eroded away and then everything just falls into the pipe. Those are my only.
Where is that at, on Kearney? You said
Kearney,
it's north of Vine?
Kearney and Vine, so
Kearney
it'd be
and
the northwest quadrant.
Northwest corner, okay.
Oh, and, sorry, one more. At that same corner, I mean, it's too late now, but if somebody would have been looking at the plans, why they didn't put a crosswalk there?
At Kearney and Vine?
Yeah, crossing Vine.
There's a crosswalk.
I think there is. What?
On the west side, there's no crosswalk.
Not on the, there's no sidewalk on the west side once you go south. That's why.
Yeah, it's all ditch.
Sidewalk ends on that side at Vine Street.
Right, but there's sidewalk on Vine.
He's saying there's a sidewalk going from
And
east to
the
west.
curb was all
okay.
replaced and asphalt was right there.
Yeah.
It's things that just, I was wondering if somebody actually looks at the plans before they get the go-ahead. Because that's just simple things that you look at and you're like, why isn't there not a crosswalk there?
Yeah.
So, all right, that's for real the last one,
Okay,
promise.
thank you, Zach. Anybody else want to do anything out of order? Okay, report.
Hearing nothing else, Your Honor, I make a motion to adjourn.
Support.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for coming. Be careful out there. Be safe. Stay on.